Jahimczyk was called in. The man is now in prison, and it is quite possible that more than another dozen murders were prevented by Dr. Jahimczyk's skill. Another case is that of a young girl playing in a yard. Suddenly, and without notice, she had a convulsive seizure and died shortly afterward. Ordinarily, the diagnosis would have been meningitis, but here again, careful autopsy disclosed a dislocated neck of a type that was possible only with trauma. Shrewd investigation disclosed that a short time before, an angry relative had bounced the little girl up and down, trying to vent her rage upon the helpless youngster. This had caused the injury which had caused her death. Or take the case of the man who was found dead in bed with no evidence of violence, no blood on any of his underclothing. An attending physician made a diagnosis of heart attack, but Dr. Jahimczyk was not satisfied with the situation. Through careful dissection, he found that an ice pick had inflicted a stab wound in the chest. Investigation led to a young woman who finally admitted the crime and, incidentally, admitted that she had murdered 2 other people in another state in this same manner, without the authorities even suspecting they were dealing with murder. It would be possible to go on almost endlessly showing the manner in which a competent forensic pathologist can protect the living through an examination of the dead. The average citizen has more at stake than he realizes. He should know more about legal medicine and the part that it plays in his life. And so I dedicate this book to my friend, Joseph A. Jahimczyk, M.D., LL.B., Erle Stanley Gardner. Chapter 1. Gladys Doyle had started her secretarial duties with Mavis Niles Mead in January. Now, on the 6th day of February, she realized that after a full month of what she had described to a friend as a cheek-by-jowl existence, she knew virtually nothing about the person for whom she was working. There had been letters, of course, and visitors, but a secretary companion, hostess, and general assistant to a person who had written a book which had been a runaway bestseller certainly should have known more of the private life of the author by that time. Miss Mead kept herself barricaded behind a wall of steady reserve, which Gladys found completely baffling. On taking up residence in the Los Angeles penthouse apartment, Mavis Niles Mead had advertised for an experienced, good-looking secretary, hostess and companion, not over 24, not under 22, poised, close-mouthed, and diplomatic. Gladys Doyle had secured the position. Miss Mead had explained it was a 24-hour-a-day job, had given Gladys a beautiful corner bedroom in the penthouse apartment, and work had started the next day. The work had consisted largely of writing short letters, terse telegrams, answering the telephone, making appointments for publicity interviews, and serving as a general watchdog to keep Miss Mead from being disturbed when she didn't want to be disturbed. The literary gossip in the newspapers was that Miss Mead was busily engaged writing another book. If she was writing such a book, Gladys Doyle certainly saw no evidence of it. Not a great deal was known about Mavis Mead's background. Because of the nature of her best-selling novel, Chop the Man Down, it would hardly have been tactful to make too searching inquiries. The book dealt with a small-town girl who went to the big city, who was buffeted around by fate, who took a fix at the behest of a sophisticated weekend companion, who faced the usual economic and moral problems confronting a young woman who finds it necessary to finance an expensive dope habit. Then suddenly her beauty got her involved with an unscrupulous individual who became infatuated with her. This infatuation turned to love, a love so strong that he saw to it that not only was she cured of the dope habit, but that word was passed around the underworld that a death sentence awaited anyone who ever again supplied her with dope. The heroine's radiant beauty also attracted a shrewd, powerful lawyer who had considerable influence. That influence began to make itself manifest in an unexpected manner. While some of the background pertaining to the central characters seemed at times highly colored by a juvenile imagination, there were flashes of grim reality indicating a first-hand knowledge on the part of the author. No one questioned the authenticity of the romantic portions of the book. As one reviewer put it, they reeked of reality. Now, on this Friday afternoon, Gladys Doyle, answering Miss Mead's summons, carrying her shorthand notebook and pencil, found Miss Mead stretched out on a chaise lounge, a cigarette in the long, carved ivory holder.
How much expense money have you, Gladys?